青や強がって飛び乗って風に流って青空昨日を越えろ Hey everybody, welcome back to Talking Mons, our Digimon Adventure recap podcast. I mean, it's been a hot minute. Oh my god. This virus has got everything all messed up. I mean, I wasn't expecting for us to go on hiatus so soon. But hey, I'm JD, and I've got Jeanette and Gary here with me again.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we're finally back together after all this time. You know, the world may still be falling apart, but, you know, Digimon's finally back, so it makes me happy. There's some light in my life. So we're finally picking back up where the last episode left off. Ty was recalled into the digital world, finally actually going to the digital world, not just the internet realm. And as was previewed months ago, Izzy was the one that got to the digital world with him, but Sora actually went with him. So my little babies finally got an episode together, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, it was nice to see Sora again.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that she's so nonchalant about it.
Yeah, so part I mean, I think we've talked about this in the other episodes. I kind of feel like some of this is like a lot of like the pacing for this show so far is kind of weird.
Yeah, I definitely felt the pacing. Like, I have a lot of thoughts about this, but definitely the pacing. It felt fast in some parts and slow in others, and it was just very uneven.
I mean, my biggest thing is that so far is that the kids are getting their partners, and then the partners like digivolve like that same episode that they meet them. And again, maybe I'm basing this on, like, you know, my nostalgia for the old show where, you know, there was at least like 2 or 3 episodes before the partners started evolving. But like in this episode, like Sora and Biomon meet for the first time, and then, you know, about 2/3 of the way through the episode, fucking Biomon evolves into Birdramon, and, you know, we're just off to the races, I guess.
That kind of ties into like one of the problems that I'm having with the new series. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words. It's like back in the old Digimon, you'd have these episodes where the partner and the kid would get to know each other and they grow as a bond and such. But like everything that happens in this episode, like the character interactions are so standard and so basic. Like there's no conflict or anything. I'm like, is this what old Digimon was like? I don't remember that.
I remember like getting to the digital world, and then like they had to run from Kawagamon for the whole time. Then everyone digivolves into their little rookie stage, and that's cool. And then like subsequent episodes, like you'd see everyone interacting with their partner a little bit, but every episode featured like another further step in everyone's evolution. But you still got that kind of time in between to see everyone kind of interacting with their like basic stage partner before they made their evolution. Like, here's your partner, it immediately evolves. There you go. And like I kind of get what you mean by the like the relationship for at least Sora and Biomon in this episode was kind of sanitized, because Biomon's unconscious for half the episode.
Yeah, no, and there's just not like any conflict or friction.
Oh, and I mean, it's like Biomon literally wakes up and she's like, Sora, I've been waiting for you. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, I get it that like in the original show, they like already knew who the kids were and they've been waiting all this time for them. But I don't know, in this one, it's just like they had no interaction up until that point.
And it's also kind of like for example, how Sora and Ty interact with each other. Like I thought I remembered in the original show, they tended to be like have clash a little more with each other. Like that's kind of where you kind of got. I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words. Like that's where you kind of got the.
Well, I mean, I feel like in the old show, this version of Tai is a little more, I'd say level-headed, I guess. Whereas 90s Tai is a big dumb idiot. I mean, there's literally an episode where he's like, "We found a bunch of eggs. I'm gonna eat one and see if it's poison." just it's like, if I die, then you'll know not to eat them. And then Sora was very much like Team Mom, so she was like, always, kind of mother henning over everybody. But in this one, they're like, just like, nope, we're just good friends, and we're just gonna, do everything. But I do get honestly, we were talking just a minute ago, and I forget which one of you guys said this, but already, but yeah, Sora is like really unfazed by like everything that's happening.
Yeah, I don't mind the lack of conflict, as at least there is no reason for conflict at the moment, but the lack of bewilderment that I have a problem with. Like, okay, you're in a brand new world. What the heck is going on? And then you meet this bird thingy. What the heck is going on? Like, at least some questioning, or some like maybe Sora should ask like Tai some more questions, since he knows a little bit more.
Like she's like runs up to Tai and Agumon on the beach and is like, "Is that a dinosaur?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is Agumon." And he starts talking. She's like, "Oh, it can talk." And they're like,
"Cool."
That's the entirety of her questioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm trying not to harp on it so much, comparing this to the old show, but like at the same time, I can't help it.
I'm not trying to compare to the old show. It's just that in any other show, I'm not comparing to the old Digimon show. I'm just comparing to any other show. You always have this. Whenever, technically, I guess Digimon would be considered a isekai. Whenever the character travels to a new world, there's always some question, bewilderment, questioning, like confusion of some sort, and that's just even like they have this Tai's Digivice glow and then point to the Rainbow Mountain and everything. It's just that he reacted like, oh, that's where we should go. Okay, understandable. That's where it's pointing, but I'm not gonna question it. It's like, wow, what is that? How, like, what's going on? Like, the only bewilderment at all in that episode was I wondering how he can read the digiglyphs.
And even then, he's pretty like nonchalant about it. And he's like, "Oh, it says this thing. Why do I know how to read that?" And that's literally. I think like everyone is just very nonchalant about everything that's going on. Like, I don't know if maybe it's just because they're children of 2020, and maybe children nowadays are unfazed by weird shit. I just know that if I was 10 and I was whisked away to another world and these giant animal monsters were just walking around talking, I'd have some questions, if not peeing myself a little bit.
Me too.
If not scared, then at least maybe that scene from Jurassic Park where they first see the dinosaur from that Jeep. That. And it has that vibe too. I mean, there's all of the like most of the or dinosaur.
The fucking like intro to the digital world is just Jurassic Park, because like Stegomon and Brachiomon are just like walking across this vista landscape, and it's like it's just all the dinosaur Digimon are just happen to be where they land. I
thought the same thing too. Totally Jurassic Park Digimon version.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of dinosaur-esque Digimon to go around that you could make a Jurassic Park, but it was just funny that they decided to like, here's the most dinosaur-esque ones we have on hand. Let's just put them in this scene. But then like I kind of like the subversion of the from the old show, where when they first got to the digital world, they were attacked by Kawagamon, which is this big beetle thing. This time it's replaced with Sneemon or Snymon. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it. So I like, he's like the other like notable big bug monster of Digimon. So I thought it was kind of cool they replaced the two. And then Coelamon shows up for a minute because they're in the water.
Because everyone wants to eat them.
Right? And like I kind of like that. It's showing that not all Digimon are like highly intelligent. A lot of them are just animals. Which we've seen before. Like Kawagamon was just a mindless monster. He didn't like talk or anything. But I like that Sneemon's a mindless monster. Coelamon's a mindless monster. It's like, yeah, they don't all have to be intelligent, and I'm kind of okay with that.
That's why I don't have a problem with them digivolving. Like at the moment that they met each other, it makes sense in the like what's going on around them.
I mean, I think if I had one episode, like if this episode, I feel like every episode we've done, like, okay, if we just push this back a little bit, which again goes back to the pacing issues. Like if this episode was literally about like Sora and Biyomon meeting and them just like trying to get out of danger, and that was the episode, great, cool. And then next episode, maybe they can like still be in the danger they are, and then like it gives some time for like Sora and Biyomon to like talk a little bit, like get to know each other, like maybe bond a little bit. But it just seemed, I mean, it was the same way with Agumon when they showed him off. He's just like, hey Ty, what's up? I'm gonna just evolve into Greymon now.
I just really wish like the characters had more personality. Like I think that's the big hang up that I'm having with the series.
I mean, I think yes. I just don't think there isn't. I mean, I think they have personality. They're just not nearly as nuanced this time. Ty is very, I don't know. Ty is the most personality less of all the characters so far. Because he's just like very okay with everything. He's very much like the brave hero protagonist. So far, not really like have any kind of the faults that come along with that stuff. I mean, he's kind of like when he and Izzy first met, he's like, oh, I don't know how to do any of that computer stuff. That's literally been the extent of like his flaws. I've like, I think Izzy's been characterized pretty well so far. I think they're really leaning further onto him being like kind of like a little kid, like because I think he's a year younger than Ty and everybody else.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that he's kind of this kid, but he's also a super genius. Also sudden Tentomon out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, by the way, I met my partner off screen.
Yeah, I was excited to see Tentomon again, though.
I like Tentomon, and I like his weird voice they have in Japanese.
Yeah. Also, Sora's helmet came back, and I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, she got her helmet back. Also, because I'm watching this with my wife, who knows next to nothing about Digimon, who it's a really adorable because one of the only things she knows about Digimon is that she likes Gomamon.
Aww.
So is the second that they jumped into a river, she asked if Gomamon was going to show up.
I wish.
I'm like, I doubt it. Joe's not here.
We need Joe in the digital world first.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see Joe again, though. Like, I say that every time we do this podcast, but
where's Joe? Where's everybody else? But we were kind of taken aback because we'd shown them all going to camp already, and I haven't determined whether or not it's like, okay, they already did the whole summer camp thing, or is it like a day camp thing where they like go back every day or something?
Have we seen Mimi yet?
No.
I think we've seen everyone at least once except Mimi. Because obviously Kari was with her mom. I think TK might have been in like a 2-second shot.
He was.
Joe is obviously they hit his face, but he was at camp and he cut himself. Then everyone else has shown up already. What was I gonna say? About Sora's fucking shopping bag of like camping essentials.
Oh, I thought that was hilarious.
Like she just has a handsaw on her.
I just love that
real reason.
She also continued to lug this bag around, even though she's in a new world, doesn't know where she is. She's like, gotta hang on to my bag.
Yeah, she just like has like, and that's what was confusing me is whether or not they are going back to camp if it's a day camp thing because she has all this camping stuff. But why would she need it if they already went to camp?
I thought that's more of a power, like the power outage supply.
I guess.
I think
maybe.
it's a day camp.
I'm just confused, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I guess this is an all right episode. I like that they're, heading for what I guess is File Mountain or whatever the hell they called it.
It's this weird temple with is it the statues of the ultimate forms? I'm not sure, but it's like these weird statues.
I think it's everyone's mega form because I saw Orphanamon, I saw Hoomon, or whatever they're calling it. But yeah, because at first I thought it was like the God Digimon that they introduced in the second season, and I guess also the third season. I thought it was them for a second, but yeah, once they showed Biomon's Mega Evolution, yeah, I think it's like a temple and it's got everyone's mega forms as statues and stuff. Which I'm in, like, that's got me interested. I'm like, okay, what's that about? I kind of want to know what's going on with this temple thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool visual stuff in the show that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see the temple.
Speaking of visuals, can we talk about Agumon's badass evolution?
Yes, and the fact they didn't do that for Biomon.
No, well, they kind of like started it, but like I almost feel like the next time Biomon evolves, we'll get a full on evolution sequence for it because we've seen Agumon Digivolve a few times already, so it was nice to finally get his like fully newly animated evolution sequence, and it is stunningly beautiful.
It was so badass.
It's like, is this where the budget for this episode went?
Yeah, I was wondering that too because a lot of it is really choppy but
oh yeah, like Snymon is just literally panning across.
Yeah. You can just see them moving the PNG across the screen.
Man, that COVID pandemic, it's hit the studio hard.
I mean, I feel like I've seen that in other anime too, so I don't know if that's like
silly.
Yeah, but I think I really like the touch of when Aguma's digivolving. They show little pixel versions of his previous evolutions before he goes into Greymon.
That was awesome.
It was like, oh, that's adorable, and I like that. It almost looks like the little Tamagotchi sprites or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think going forward, I think the first time we see any of the partner Digimon Digivolve, it's not going to be the actual Digivolve sequence. It's going to be something different.
I think at least from like Agumon, it took up a couple episodes for you guys full sequence, and then they kind of glossed over Bergermons. I definitely agree. I think it'll take one or two times before we get their full sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that was really great. I'm interested about what this temple thing they're going towards. I'm trying my best not to compare this to the original series because obviously it's going in a new direction story wise. I think we kind of said it. I want just a little more characterization from like a little more personality out of these characters. I think the pacing just needs to slow down. Again, I don't know how many episodes this show is supposed to be. I have a feeling it's not going to be like the original 52 episodes. But I want more personality and I want things to slow down a little bit.
Like it says something when I didn't really understand what was going on until we had that recap at the beginning of the episode. It's like, so that's what was happening with A, B, C, and D.
So, okay. So there's basically a really brisk recap of the first 3 episodes at the beginning of this episode. And I honestly wonder if that was put together because there's been so much time between the last episode and this one because of the virus.
They did re-air the first 3 episodes beforehand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the last 3 weeks, they've been re-airing.
Okay. Well, my thing there is if that recap is always going to be on the 4th episode, it seems kind of superfluous watching all of them in order because it's anime has a thing where they like basically recap the last episode, but this recaps like 3 episodes worth of material in like the span of a minute. Which with so much time passed between the last episode, I kind of appreciated because like, okay, it's the gears are working again. Okay, I'm caught back up.
I appreciated it too.
Yeah.
But it's just like when we watch this back later, does that 3 episode recap really, is it really needed? I guess. I guess we'll see.
Also, Izzy got eaten by that whale.
He did get eaten by a whale.
Wasn't there like a whale episode like in the original series?
Well, yeah, because I think it was after they beat Devimon, they're like, okay, well, you need to go to this continent all the way over here. Waymon is gonna eat you and take you over there, and he has like a shopping district inside of him or something.
Speaking of, go
I wonder if
ahead.
he's the shopping district in him in this one.
I wonder. But it does make me think that Waymon is gonna be the one like transporting Izzy back to the digital world. Because it was interesting that they said that the digital world is just like a small pocket in like the internet.
It's in the dark web.
The digital world would be in the dark web. They don't want that getting out.
I'm pretty sure in like the Digimon like Bandai games, like at least the like like the detective ones, Digimon is essentially used by hackers in the dark web. So yeah,
Leave that. I did. Yeah, I tried to play whatever that's called.
Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I tried to play Cyber Sleuth, and I tried my best to get into it. I just couldn't for some reason.
I really like it. I have it on the Switch. The problem is Pokemon came out, and Pokemon's a better game. So
It is. Digimon games are just odd.
Mhm.
They're like part Monster Rancher, but part Pokemon also. It's strange. But Gary, you were gonna say something a minute ago.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Devimon, at the end before Izzy got swallowed up by the whale, we saw one of the henchmen that was like that's the henchman in the original series of the first.
Yeah,
part.
Ogremon showed up for a hot
Ogremon,
second.
yeah, that's his name. Like,
Uh,
are they gonna have the same main villain?
I think so because I think it might have been a commercial I saw. They did show Devimon. I have seen him in promotion for this new series, so I do think they're still gonna clash with Devimon. Obviously Ogremon's here, so which like way earlier than he showed up in the original series. I think it was like probably like 10 or 12 episodes before like Devimon and Ogremon and Leomon were even a thing. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, so I'm interested to like see how they play with the original story and like where they're going with this new story still. Yeah, was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about for this episode?
I think I mentioned everything I had to say.
Yeah, I think it's just our expectation is a little high. I wonder,
That's
like,
fair.
I wonder what like actual kids watch the show, like how they see the show. Never seen Digimon. Who've only seen kids anime.
Yeah, it's true because
We just jaded old people.
I am definitely a jaded old person. I can admit that.
Me too.
Damn kids, get off my lawn. Yeah. I would be interested to see what like little kids watching this in Japan feel about this who have no prior experience with Digimon. I have no idea. Well, all right, guys. So there's our thoughts on episode 4 of Digimon Sai, or Digimon Colon. I don't really know what they're calling this. I've heard both. But fingers crossed, unless there's another crisis with the Japanese animation industry again. We'll be back again next week to talk about episode 5. I am curious to see what's going on because Ty and Sora are heading on Bergamon over to the big pointy mountain, and Izzy's inside a whale right now, and we don't know where Matt is, so he kind of peaced out.
He never appears in the series again. I'm kidding.
I'm okay with that. Fuck off, Matt.
He's gonna come in like Tuxedo Mask.
With
Everything
what?
is done. He's gonna come in like Tuxedo Mask. Everything's done.
But you didn't do anything.
My job is done.
He'll come over and give advice from the sideline, then leave.
If Matt just like popped in periodically just to do like one thing and then leave, I would love if that was just a running joke. But I have my doubts. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for listening, and Gary and Jeanette, thank you for coming back. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad to be doing this show again.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and be sure to tune in again next week where we talk about episode 5 of Digimon Adventure Sai. But until then, everybody take care, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.